While they are not divine and do not have supernatural powers on their own, they are bestowed with certain privileges and responsibilities that set them apart.
Han Meditations. Hey guys, as you can see, I have all these journals. The link will be in the description. Hello guys, I am Han. This is Kelly.
Hi.
We are Han Meditations. We're back with another video, and we're so excited to get into this one because we just watched a video going over the Prophet Muhammad and how he was able to have more than 4 wives at a time, but also he had a greater responsibility and he had to do certain things like get up and pray in the middle of the night and so on and so forth. So we want to clear up confusion because the video didn't actually go over exactly why he was able to do that. So I want to know, was he technically breaking the rules or was he listening to God's word? I'm pretty sure he was listening to God's word, but we never know where this is going to go. So let's just, lock in. Let's go. Let's get excited and let's figure this out together. Hello, ChatGPT. I just watched a video about the Prophet Muhammad, and it basically said that he was able to have more than 4 wives at one time, but in the Quran, it specifically says that no man can have more than 4 wives, which actually lowered the limit of wives for men at the time. So why was he able to have that many wives at one time if in the Quran it says that he couldn't?
Hello. That's an interesting question and delves into the historical context of early Islamic tradition. According to Islamic tradition, the Prophet Muhammad had special privileges granted to him by God, which included the permission to have more than 4 wives. This exception is believed to be outlined in the Quran, specifically in Surah Al-Ahzab 33:50, where it mentions that this rule is specific to the Prophet. The general limit of 4 wives was indeed established to regulate the existing practice of polygamy at the time.
That's interesting because in Islam, I thought that prophets were equal to normal people. Is this not true? Are prophets more special than the average person?
In Islam, prophets are indeed considered human and share many characteristics with ordinary people, but they hold a special status due to their role as messengers of God. They are chosen by God to receive and convey his messages to humanity, and they are regarded as models of righteousness and moral conduct. While they are not divine and do not have supernatural powers on their own, they are bestowed with certain privileges and responsibilities that set them apart. For example, they receive divine revelations, perform miracles, and are protected by God from major sins, all to fulfill their mission of guiding their communities. So, while they are human, their role as prophets grants them a unique and elevated status within Islamic belief.
Okay, so they have an elevated status, but that doesn't mean that they're basically loved by God more or different or should be worshipped or anything like that. It just means that they are here for a mission. So God chose them for that mission so that they basically have permission to do certain things within certain parameters since they're 100% protected and trusted by God. Is that correct?
Exactly. You've got it. Prophets in Islam are chosen by God for a specific mission, which is to convey his message and guidance to humanity. They are not to be worshipped, as worship is due to God alone in Islamic belief. Prophets are deeply respected and revered for their closeness to God and their exemplary character, but they are still human and serve as conduits for God's message. Their elevated status reflects their role and responsibilities, but it doesn't imply that they are loved differently or more than others. They are fully trusted by God to deliver his message and to lead by example within the parameters set for them.
Wow, that's really interesting now that I think about it, because That's basically how I've always felt about a lot of certain things because, for instance, the Quran is a beautiful book. And it does say like you can eat pork if you're about to die. That's the only thing you have. Mm-hmm. So there's certain exceptions within the book that really make sense. And I personally believe that each individual person has a relationship with God. Yeah. And some people, obviously more than others, have a close relationship with God, and God speaks and talks to them. And I believe that that is a blessing more than anything if God is speaking to you or talking to you. Because, a lot of people on this channel know, but as soon as I got off of stage 5 kidney disease, off of dialysis for multiple years, that is whenever our channel blew up. As soon as we started talking about Islam, in that month, God came to me specifically and talked to me. Now, probably a year before, I got a message from Jesus that said, you need to work with me and God. It didn't say worship me, didn't say anything like that. So we even took that as basically kind of like a challenge to get even closer to God. Mm-hmm. And I seen Jesus as a big brother figure, really guiding me and leading me in the right direction. And essentially, it led us here to Islam. And one of the things during that journey was God told me specifically, you need to get up and you need to talk to the doctors and you need to tell them exactly that you want to do even less time on dialysis machine, which at that time seemed absolutely crazy, super wonked out for me to even hear that. I was even kind of scared, like, I don't know if I can do that, because the last time I talked to the doctors, they were telling me, you're not going to get off. You need to get the transplant. You need to get on the transplant list. Enough is enough. It's 5 doctors in the room. They're pressuring me to do this. And I had to go against all of them and that pressure and listen to the voice and the reason of God. So that is truly how I felt. For a normal person that may not be as spiritually inclined as me, they may not be listening to God, they should probably just do exactly what the doctor says. The doctor says this, go ahead and listen to them. Do exactly what the doctor says in that moment. But for someone like me, if I hear the voice of God, I'm going to trust God and do exactly what God says, even if I am fearful of the result. And at that time, I was fearful for a second, and then I put my full faith and trust in God. All the fear went away, and I even communicated that with God. I said, God, I'm scared to do this. And God said, I will be in the room with you. And that moment, all the fear went away. I had the confidence that I needed, and I went in the room and said it, and everything changed like that. My kidney function tripled, and boom, it was over in that moment.
It really is unbelievable. And the other crazy thing is that the month that the healing happened was the month of February, the second month of the year, and exactly 2 years after the whole thing started. So basically, in 2022, February of 2022, is when we found everything out. He went to the hospital for 2 weeks, a lot of twos, and then spent the next 2 years doing dialysis. And by the way, we also got married on 2/22/22 in the hospital, which we had already planned on that date before we even knew any of this was going to happen. And then, boom, 2 years later, again in the month of February, is when he was healed enough for them to say he can completely go off. The function is too high to even qualify for a transplant. And that is a month that this type of content started taking off, which, please believe me, this was never something we could have expected at all, unfolding like this. So it's just, that's the beauty of coming closer to God. And you take away what you think is best for your life path and how you believe things should go. And when you give that power to God, you're actually giving yourself power, because you're unlocking every possibility in the universe to come your way. And so we just hope that that's a living example for everyone of the power of God.
Absolutely, Kelly. Absolutely. So like Kelly said before, we're going to tell the whole story so everybody knows. But you guys need to know that what we're doing on this channel is driven by God. that's the only reason why we're doing this. Because
Absolutely.
God is here with us. God is here with you guys. And we've always wanted people that watch the channel that believe in God like we do. So thank you guys for watching the channel. Thank you for liking, subscribing, commenting, and sharing the video. Thank you to all the people that donate. I promise you, we see everyone. I promise you, it means the world to us, guys. And it really brings tears to our eyes just knowing that we're doing this in the name of God. Thank you guys so much for being here. We love you. We'll see you in the next video.